Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the rumors are starting to buzz. I'm giggling because it's kind of funny to me that Kyrie Irving is possibly going to be out. Brooklyn wants to not pay him his money, so that's looking like that's a real thing. And now, of course, KD is alleged to have been upset about the situation as well, according to Ticket TV, of whom I just paid attention to, and now I am just kind of responding to what he's saying. And this guy's been pretty early on stuff. He's been pretty accurate. I've been paying close attention to him. He tells you stuff that's about to happen. I don't know where his sources are coming from, but seem pretty on point these days. So it seems reasonable. I think all of this is foreseeable. First of all, if you're going to talk about breaking those two up, I don't think they want to break up, and I think they want to do it in Brooklyn. And I think they want to be paid their money, and I think they believe they can win a championship. And I think that the Brooklyn Nets are going to be, looking at their situation and saying, we don't believe that. We don't believe that based on Kyrie's inability to stay present for whatever reason. And if we're going to invest in him, we want to do it on terms that give us more cushion than what he's asking for, which is reasonable, honestly. And I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But at the same time, KD does have to do what's best for him. And I will say this, I like Sean Marks a lot, and that's somebody I would like for the Lakers to have had as a GM. So it's not really about whether or not I think he could do his job. Of course, he's good. I just wonder if, as a whole, do you believe that the Brooklyn Nets are the best team that you think can build a NBA championship caliber team for yourself? If you're KD and Kyrie, knowing that you guys want to be paid the money that you want to be paid, of course, that's going to be a significant amount of cap. So do you trust that Sean Marks and the brain trust there are going to continue to keep you in competition with a strong Eastern Conference with those two monsters in Joel Embiid and Giannis, who are going to be back every year probably for the next 4 or 5 years? Not to mention everything else that's going to manifest with teams getting better and young players coming in, etc. So, KD has to ask, without Kyrie, what are they doing? What is their plan for me? And so I think both of them are looking at the Lakers situation and can see their two contracts slotted into that Lakers situation, and they can continue their big three situation with Bron if they're both moved and AD is moved as well. Now I know the Lakers are looking at AD and they're saying, can we trust him to stay healthy? And he can net us something very great. So it's not crazy to think that the Lakers could package AD and get something special like Kyrie Irving or get something special like KD. It's not crazy to think that. Not especially after the playoffs of what we just saw from KD getting shut down. His value's lower. So one would think if the Nets are going to try to get something for him, it would reflect something. It's the kind of the mortal way we just kind of seen him as opposed to the immortal greatness that we've seen his entire career. I think, it's a stretch, to be honest with you, to say that the Lakers would actually do something like this or to think that the Nets would actually do something like this. But the report that Ticket is saying is that Sean Marks and, Rob Pelinka have met up and had conversations with one another recently. I don't know how true that is. Just going off the words that's out there, just like I always do. But to speculate, I would say it's intriguing. If the Lakers are going to go all in with LeBron James, we know he likes to play with older guys, man. I don't know that nothing's changed in that regard. We also know that he has championship chemistry with Kyrie Irving, and the problem that we had last year was the horrible chemistry that we had with Russell Westbrook, how it didn't fit to begin with. Okay, now, why would anybody include Russell Westbrook in this trade if they were to consider moving two massive superstars? They can get so much more for them than to trade them both to LA. Well, I think this is a situation where those stars have preference. And I think why this could be possible is the fact that they would try to force their way to play together, as to which the Lakers, again, have the two max contracts to slip in if they were willing to move AD and Russell Westbrook. So a lot of talk has been said about Zach LaVine. He's talking about he wants to be a part of it. I don't look at the Lakers as a team that's looking to rebuild. I think they're going to try this same 3 contract thing again. And so if that's the case, you know, it's about what makes sense in that regard. And I think the Lakers are a team of stars. We're a team of stars. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, um, KD fits anywhere he can. He can fit anywhere. I personally think his best fit is still in Golden State. I wouldn't suggest Golden State break up what they got going on to bring him in, though. I wouldn't do that. I would keep what I have. We're not going to do that now. We'd do that back in your prime, but now, nah, I wouldn't do that from them. However, KD has a lot of different spots that he's going to fit on. The question is, if Kyrie moves to LA and you got a spot here to slip in next to Bron, can you play with Bron? And see, that's my thing. Like, it's not about can they play. Of course, he can play with one another. But can he play? Like, will he be good in this environment as Bron being their third star? Because they know what comes with him, you know. And KD has expressed many times, in fact, sitting next to the man, he expressed that he didn't really appreciate the circus that comes with him, and some of the energy that is applied to him. Okay, so why that would have changed now, I don't know. But the possibility of winning a championship will let people swallow a lot of pride and sit in a lot of bullcrap. And I think if you're Kyrie Irving and you're KD, you look at the field out there, you had better find yourself in a situation where your team is stacked, because y'all old and y'all need to find a way to beat all these young kids that are out here. And this is why I want the Lakers to think about, yeah, Kyrie Irving is a great player, right? I'd love to have Kyrie Irving on this team, but you need length in defense. So in my right mind, I'm keeping AD over him. That part of this equation needs to be understood. How the league is set up right now, you'd rather have a potentially maybe healthy AD with all of the ability he brings defensively, with his length and all the things that he can do on both sides of the floor. Because as you can see, in this league, everybody's having a tough time in these playoffs finding balance between scoring and defense. It's either you give me some defense or I'm giving you scoring. It's lopsided. We have the great antithesis to that with a player who dominates both sides of the floor when healthy. So if we were in these playoffs right now, I trust that a good Laker team with a healthy AD would probably be favorites to win the West right now. We would beat both Golden State and Dallas with a healthy AD, because these teams don't have defense and offense on the floor at the same time in one player. Most of the times, Draymond Green I think about as a player that does that for the Golden State Warriors, but he doesn't score. But his offensive help is in other areas, so he's dominant there. But like, you know, you look on the Heat, it's like maybe you consider Jimmy Butler. You know, it's like you're pulling teeth trying to get Bam to score. You know, you look at Jason Tatum, he's runs hot and cold. He's considered the best offensive player left in these playoffs next to Steph Curry. And he's having games where some nights he's doing something, other nights he's awful. It's like, look, and you have a two-way player like AD, he means a little more right now watching these playoffs than he did maybe 3 weeks ago, to be honest with you. That's what I'm here to tell you. And that's the God's honest truth. And watching these playoffs, you see the fluctuation of the importance of a player like him. You need him, and you need more of him. And that's just truth, man. New information, baby. New information. We run with that. So for me, love Kyrie Irving. I want him here. Now that I see all this noise coming about saying, oh, we can get Kyrie Irving. Yeah, at a good price. I want that dribble ability on this team. That scoring, that finishing ability, I want that here. Yes. As long as his head's on straight and he's learned from some of the mistakes that he's made, we don't have a vaccine issue. He'll be able to play games on the road and at home here. Except for in Toronto and Brooklyn. I don't know how that situation goes. I think that's changed. So, yeah, maybe in Toronto, those would be the games he wouldn't be able to play. So, in theory, we're bringing in a motivated Kyrie Irving who would probably have a chip on his shoulder about how things went and a little bit of frustration about how things ultimately played out in Brooklyn. I think redemption story going back home to play with Bron, I think would be awesome. If KD could come with him, it would be great for morale, just in general, so they could stay together and keep doing what it is that their mission is. But I do think they would run into trouble. I think going old, I'm telling you, man. As much as I love these two players, and I think they could be unguardable if they're healthy. Trust you me, Kyrie, KD, and LeBron James. You thought Harden was a problem for that trio. You put LeBron James playmaking in there. They can win if you get them enough wingy, long, young players who can be fast enough to keep up with everybody else that's out here. They can score, and with enough help, they can win. But there will come down to a moment somewhere in the playoffs where you will wish to God Kyrie Irving was Anthony Davis. I'm telling you this right now. It's going to happen. There's also going to be a game where Kyrie Irving probably goes for 50 points, right? There's going to be games where he's going to dazzle you and you're going to be like, oh my God, it's amazing. But there's going to be a moment where he's going to not even blow a defensive assignment, but somebody's just going to power through him defensively in such a way where you're going to wish to God that was Anthony Davis blocking that shot, and you will live with the injuries or whatever the heck comes with Anthony Davis. So I'm telling you, for me, am I bringing in KD? Of course, man. There's nothing keeping me from bringing in Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. I'm bringing Kevin Durant. But I'm holding on to Anthony Davis if at all possible. That's what I'm telling you, based on what we're seeing in these playoffs and ultimately where the league is headed with these young guys who can literally block a three-point shot these days. You gonna trade away Anthony Davis when the Herb Jones is out here? No, you don't want to. No, nope, hell no. You need more of those. I think the Lakers need to be going after Kevon Looney. We need to be going after players like, of that way, who are bigger. Understand that we need to keep three-point shooting. Malik Monk needs to be kept. If at all possible, you need offensive scores clearly. But Zach LaVine, I think his piece makes more sense looking at the scoring issues down there. So long as you bring in defensive players, I think I'm warming up to what his piece looks like. So long as we can do that, keep your Wenyen Gabriels and stuff like that. So I like the Lakers' prospect of having that type of superstar talent. I feel the same way about it as I probably felt about Russell Westbrook coming in at the beginning last summer. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you need certain things to win today's league. And even in bringing in Kyrie Irving, great name, great talent, and Kevin Durant, great name, great talent. Those are bodies that I don't know can stay healthy. Simple as that. No different than AD. No different than AD. I'm just going to keep it all the way real with you. Even if they're intent, all this great, that, and the third, they're going to need a lot of backup help. They're going to need a lot of depth. And the Lakers can't bring it to them. But we don't have the assets. Key to all of this. Missing assets, you guys. Missing pieces that will assure that their backup players just will not be that great. There'll be G League guys, maybe a guy we can get in the second round somehow. We're about to buy a second round pick, I hear. That's the type of talent they're going to be playing with. Whoever we can get at $1.8 million. Maybe Carmelo re-sign with us. Maybe we get Dwight Howard back. You see what I'm saying? This is what we're looking at. If the Lakers don't blow this thing up and bring back young assets. Simple as that. So, as long as KD knows what he's walking into, as long as Kyrie know what they're walking into. Not much, very similar to what the Nets situation was, only a little worse because we have less. So, that's real, man. That's real. But if they think they can win a championship, they can overcome all these wingy, long, young guys. And have at it, man. I think you guys are great enough to try. Shoot, I'm talking about three of the greatest there is. So if you can pull it off, pull it off. But just remember, Anthony Davis, I think his price went up. Believe it or not, I think his price went up. So call it what it is, man. Call it what it is. I think also, the coaching hire is important when you consider what it is that they're building here. One of the mistakes that that Brooklyn made was hiring a rookie coach. Now, I want us to hire Darvin Ham, but I don't want to toss Darvin Ham into a situation that may be a little too much for a rookie coach. Now, granted, he's had a lot of experience with the Bucks, dealing with championship situations, and of course, as a player, he's been in situations around the league for a million years. So I know he's ready to coach, but it's one thing to coach, and it's another thing to inherit that type of superstar expectation and ego in year one without any cohesion and a whole lot of pressure that comes with just being the coach of the Lakers alone. And then the coach of LeBron alone. And then the coach of Kyrie alone. And then the coach, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is a lot you're putting on Darvin Ham in his rookie year. You know, I think I'd rather him just kind of have a bunch of kids run around, or maybe just a LeBron James team and some guys, than, you know, without the expectations that are so lofty in year one. See what I'm saying? And with respect to the other two coaches that we're looking at, I don't think they're the guys that can handle that situation either. So I listened to what KD said. Not KD, excuse me, KG, Kevin Garnett. He thought that our coaching trio wasn't up to par. He said some things that I didn't necessarily agree with. But all in all, he wasn't approving of the names. And my thing is, well, it depends on what I'm asking him to do. That's all it is. If I'm giving them a young team or just a LeBron James team with maybe one star AD, that's cool. When you're bringing in new stars that haven't played with one another, and you got to come up with a new system, you don't know who your role players are, but you know they're not going to be enough, more or less. And it's like, okay, you're asking those coaches to make something out of that. And not only something out of that, but get a banner out of that. You're setting them up for failure, and you know it. So that's my thing. I want us to set the coaches that we're putting in place, especially if it's a young coach like Darvin Ham, a new coach, put them in a position to have as stable of an environment as the Lakers can possibly provide, because they're already going to be coming in behind the eight ball. They know they're going to have to deal with the pressure. They know they're going to have more gray hairs when they leave here than they're coming in with. They know that. But it's about what the Lakers are doing at the beginning to set them up properly. You know what I mean? So again, if I'm Kevin Durant, if I'm Kyrie Irving, I'm thinking about these things. I'm not just saying, hey, there goes a spot, let's jump over there. No. Do they have enough to make this not an embarrassment? Okay? For real. For real, bro. Do the Lakers have enough to not make us look crazy out here and have people talking about us every day like we ain't never played the game? Because you just went through that in Brooklyn, and LeBron's going through that right now. Westbrook, man, this is not the place to come and fail. So that's all I'm saying. I'm a Laker fan since I was 9 years old. I'm in my 30s, and it's not gotten any easier for anybody who comes here, bro. It's tough. We are a tough bunch, and our front office is all over the place. So we're kind of just without some things, and they don't want to tear it down to build it up like they need to. So, I mean, I want to work with them as a fan, say, yeah, let's get us the stars, let's get us the stars. But my whole point of view as a fan is to try to lend my voice to the environment of athletes having good environments from which to display their talents. That's my passion. So I'm not going to sit up here with my voice, say, KD, come to this bad situation so you can look worse than you did. Hell no, I'm not going to tell that brother to do that. No, man, I'm not going to do that. And I don't think the Lakers should do it either. The best way to do this, to ensure that people trust your credibility for years and years to come, is to accept that it's time to fix the problem. Because everybody's looking at it. It's not like you're hiding. It's not like we don't see there's real problems that need to be broken down to fix. You see what I'm saying? If it was a cloak over everything and everybody thought everything was cool when it's really bad, then you can get you can work this way. But while everybody's looking at you saying, yo, they're incompetent, and you're saying, no, we're not, we're going to do some stuff. Let's keep Westbrook. Listen, that stuff looks a certain way. Even if it strategizes properly, it looks a certain way. So I think as a fan, I have to be honest about it all. And for me, I just think going the Portland route is the best way for the Lakers. Then I could say, KD, you can come here, man, because we got picks, we got assets. If you have a vision for a guy you want to get, we got the stuff to get him. We can trade this, and get him here. What do you need? More backup? Yeah, we got that too. Oh, okay, this guy sucks. We can trade him because we got the pick to attach to it. We don't have the flexibility to do those things. You get stuck with what you got. If this guy hurt, you're playing with a youngster. You're playing with maybe a guy. And ain't no fix it. Ain't no, okay, we got the pick. Man, what do we need? Okay, we can get a rebounder. Listen, nah, we can't get it. It's no assets. So that's what Genie needs to believe and understand. Know that that's not a fixable situation by just saying, okay, we're going to get a star, get a star, get a star. No. The stars are going to get hurt because you're relying upon them too much. They're human. Their bodies are not going to be able to function without backups, adequate backups that you're not going to trust to play. I've been watching this game too long and studied it too long, man. Depth is key. No matter what era it is, don't let them lie to you. Depth is key because you want to be able to withstand injury. Even the teams of the past, they needed to be able to let Shaq rest for a month if he gets a knee, or let Kobe sit down for a couple weeks if the shoulder goes. All teams need to be able to trust the guys in the back of the bench. The best way for us to secure that we can do that is to not go so top heavy, man. It's to let some of those superstars, let them go, man, and bring in some bodies, bring in some okay guys, a bunch of them, so that you can at least withstand injury. It's your only chance. Otherwise, you're just hoping to God no one gets hurt. As to which they will. This is the NBA. They will. And mind you, everybody else is thinking this. They're all doing this. They're putting together a deep team because of it. So if you're the only one who doesn't have one, what do you think? I try to advise, man. That's all I can try to do. That's it. So, that's what I got. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.